Russia and China are considered to be close economic, military, and political partners. But it doesn't mean that these two countries do not have grudges against each other. Before 1947, Russia was in tussle with Japan. Japanese Empire occupied Manchuria region of China in 1905. In this war, Japanese armies defeated Russian Empire and the Treaty of Portsmouth was signed. But during Second World War, on 9 August 1945, Soviet Union attacked Manchuria along with Allied support and kicked Japan out of Manchuria. During this period, Russia also gave away the Inner Mongolia region to Chinese Communist Party. In contrast to this, in 1929 there was a brief conflict between Chinese warlord Zhang Xueliang and USSR over Chinese Eastern Railway, and China was defeated by Soviets in this conflict. Chinese Eastern Railway was sent back to the status quo of joint rule of both USSR and China. A major post-World War II conflict took place between USSR and China in 1969. This was the period of Sino-Soviet split. Here, USSR supported Uyghurs against Han Chinese. In this conflict, China did not have military superiority against USSR. So China wanted to use its numerical superiority against Soviet nuclear capability. Anyways, even this war was returned to status quo after several deaths. There has been no major conflict between these two nations thereafter. There was a major ideological split between China and USSR in mid-50s and 60s, where Chinese adopted Marxism or Maoism or Leninism. It was more of a tripolar Cold War situation between US, USSR and China. But things have changed now, as there is no Cold War going on and there is no USSR. Russia and China are in very good terms, but there are some other issues between these two nations. In an older video of mine, I talked about how Russia is fighting for its relevance. China's influence has already overshadowed Russia's. Russia also has been very furious about China's illegitimate copying of Russian weapons like Sukhoi 27 and S-300 SAM. In this video, we will try to assess a situation in which China tries to invade Russia. And we will only be talking about a quick short war, because both the nations are nuclear power, with Russia willing to first use its nuclear in case of war. China does have a numerical and a lot of a technological advantage over Russia now. With better and higher number of precision-guided weapons and missiles, China will be able to pound Russian tactical targets more efficiently. The disadvantage that China has is that there are lots of important Chinese urban centers close to the eastern border of Russia. But this also serves as an advantage for China. China can airstrike weaker military bases of Ukrainica, Chita, and even Irkutsk. Both the countries are huge, so it will be very tough for both of them to mobilize troops. But China has better infrastructure in Inner Mongolia and Harbin province than Russia has in its far eastern federal subjects. If China chooses to quickly thrust inside far eastern Russia, it will probably succeed without much of a resistance. Although Russian air defense is very strong, but much of it is deployed in western Russia near Europe. But sooner or later, Chinese forces will reach more populated and militarized regions of Russia. And Chinese forces with long supply lines and far from their urban centers will be flanked and ambushed and destroyed by Russian military. Now Russia has two approaches in this situation. In first, Russian Air Force can create a strong resistance even in very beginning of the war in far eastern Russian province. But in this situation, Russia has a risk of losing lots of its military assets. Now second approach will be that Russia will let China do the similar mistakes as Germans did in World War II and ambush Chinese into Russian trap far from supply lines. In both the situations, Russia risks losing a great chunk of its far eastern territory to China. Russian Navy is also majoritarily deployed near Europe, so any hope to fight against more powerful Chinese Navy in Yellow Sea is slim. So it's clear that it will be fairly favorable for China to annex far eastern territories of Russia. But this victory won't be lasting for long if China tries to stretch its lines. Although when it comes to nukes, Russia outclasses China, but we will assume that it won't come to that. I'm Spearhead. If you like this video, then please subscribe to my channel and share this video. Spearhead over and out.